Alright, so we're taking a break from all of the major RMR coverage to bring you some post-major news. To the shock of nobody, the instant moment that Falcons failed to secure sticker money by drafting the GOAT on loan and running one of the worst major rosters I have ever seen, they immediately cut everybody who's not named Magisk and are now waiting for their arrival of their brand new God King Nico. And all I have to say in response is... oh my god. Oh, f you Falcons. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the news, the bleak future for this franchise, and dance on the grave of the reality that no matter how much oil money you have, you can't buy championships, at least not this easily. Before we get started, make sure you guys take a second, leave a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It helps out immensely the YouTube algorithm. Also, come check me out on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/LionHeartZ2. I am co-streaming throughout the entirety of this major. It's been a great time getting to hang out with you guys directly, talking shop while we watch the games go down. So drop on by, leave me a follow. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and point and laugh. So first things first, in case you've been living under a rock, Falcons have been horrible. How horrible have they been? Well, going all the way back to ESL Pro League Season 20 when they still had Sun Pius, they've only won a single series to this point since that time. One best-of-3 series against Atox. Every other series this wretched team has competed in, they have lost. They've only won 7 maps. 7 total maps going back to Pro League. And even after getting the greatest player in the history of Counter-Strike on their team to try and fluke their way into sticker money, Falcons only won 2 maps with Simple. Twice. 1 game against Eclot, 1 game against Gamer Legion. Meaning in Simple's too short tenure, they went 2-13. Friends, family, Romans, please take a second and point and laugh. Here is your 5-second window to point and laugh. Alright, good, thank you. So obviously, this year has been a biblical level disaster for this organization, and it was pretty clear things were going to change, but for one last ride, they were going to see if they can get into the major. And obviously, as we just covered, that didn't go well either. And with the great signing of Nico on the horizon, Falcons are ready to make some changes, and they were hoping that maybe they could convince Simple to stay, but to the shock of absolutely no one, Simple is absolutely getting out now. Literally the nanosecond Falcons were eliminated from the RMRs, Simple went on record to Striker over on HLTV and said, "I am not going back to the Falcons. I am 100% never coming back to this organization. I'd rather ride the Na'Vi bench than play with these guys." Now listen, he didn't say that in so many words, but let's read between the lines a little bit. He basically said that. Which overall leaves the Falcons in a pretty tricky wicket when you think about it, because they know they're getting Nico at the start of the year, no matter what happens with G2 and their own major hopes. They need to try and build a team around him to actually be able to compete, and so far they're now missing an Opper, they no longer have the GOAT, and every other piece on this team is suspect at best. So what are you to do if you're a multi-million-dollar franchise being propped up by a dictatorial theocracy? Well, you have to make some changes pretty quick. And I don't think anybody expected them to be this quick, as in before players have even gotten home from the flight. Literally hours after the Simple story broke, while I was asleep dreaming of the Falcons missing the major, Falcons announced that Snappy, Dupree, and Madden are all canned. And I don't know, you know, this is my initial thought, right? As soon as I saw that headline someone posted in my Discord, link in the description, this was the first thing that popped into my head. And I hope you guys can hear the sound of that phone ringing in the distance, because I called it! And people have really been trying to tell me in my various videos that Dupree was somehow going to be safe. I knew that if Falcons were going to get Nico, they were going to axe this team and rebuild. There's no way this was going to be the team that Nico stepped into. But I thought for sure they would at least have the good graces to wait until after the major to disassemble their team in real time. I have never seen a team get fired this fast. Snappy literally tweeted out that he was still on the goddamn plane, and when he landed, he was out of a job. That's not how you treat players. It's, oh my god, it's so messed up. Regardless of my feelings towards the validity of this roster, this is not how you treat players. You give them the grace of making a more dignified exit, you do it via the proper channels, and you don't blindside the players ahead of time. You let them know they're cut, then go public, but Falcons decided to undercut them to get a headline. And listen, they got the attention. I'm paying attention, but oh my god, can this organization be any more of a clown show than it already is? You guys spent only God knows how much money trying to get Simple on loan. You cut your best player, Sun Pius, out of nowhere on his ass before the major, denying him his chance to get a sticker in the game with your organization, despite being the only quality piece on your team for the last year. And you tried to cynically bring in the GOAT, who hadn't played at all since CS2 came out, and trying to get a headline to make Simple the focal point, hoping he would carry your asses to the sticker promised land, and when he didn't, you immediately turned tail, shopped the team, and you're waiting for Nico to show up. Rarely have I ever seen an organization claiming to be a tier 1 force in this space act so utterly shittily towards its players. It's deplorable. And I can only hope in my cynical heart of hearts that Nico is sitting in the RMRB right now, winning with G2, and is absolutely stricken with a cold sweat as he realizes he signed on to be a part of this circus. He's going to a team that has a washed up former best coach in the world, a washed up former top 5 player in the world, and literally nothing else. What the hell does Zonic have now other than his legacy with Astralis that he continues to stain by showing that he is an ineffectual leader at best? Blade clears Zonic as the best coach ever, and I don't ever want to hear an argument in Zonic's favor again after this. His player management has been shit. His strats have been shit. His ability to work with pieces that aren't handcrafted to him have been shit. And now you're telling me that Falcons, shortly after this major, have to rebuild a sensible roster around Nico and Magisk, find an in-game leader, an opper, and a support piece on the open market that are adequate to these players' levels. It's not going to happen. Money may buy you a lot, but it literally can't buy you everything. There is no way, unless Falcons are willing to spend like literally millions of dollars, which at some point, somebody's going to have to start questioning the checks they're putting out with so little return on investment. But who knows, oil money does run deep. But at the same time, there's no way that Falcons put together an adequate roster come next year to get ready for the new circuit that will fit Nico in a way that supports his legacy. So I can only hope that G2 find a way to win the major now. Nico completes his historic career. He goes to the retirement home. He absolutely rinses you, for every dime you're worth, and he instantly becomes a worse player. I hope Nico realizes the situation he's stepping into and just stops caring. And it's cold zero on FaZe overnight. That is the best outcome for everybody. I can't believe Falcons are this much of a disaster, but really, should any of us be surprised? Ultimately, all we can do is laugh, and that's what we'll continue to do. Falcons, rest in piss. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Advance, shout out to Refrag, shout out to my channel members Justin, Jesse, Furley, Bubblesj, Milan Berta, and Dr. Cocktor. If you want to become a channel member, you can do so at the link in the description down below. Come check me out later tonight. We'll be co-streaming the majors, actually watching some good Counter-Strike, something that the Falcons don't know anything about. I'll see you guys soon with another video. Later.